أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أما بعد, I'll just remind you that when we're giving the talk, there'll be either some maybe hadith recited or maybe some Quran recited. So let's give those, not my words, but those words of Allah and His Messenger with respect. That means we give attention to it. We're not distracted by our phones. Please put your phones off. Unless it's an emergency, you're waiting for somebody, put it on silent. You're here to get knowledge. And knowledge requires attention. These gatherings, this is not a khutbah. The khutbah will come later. You're obliged to listen to the khutbah. You're not obliged to listen to me. But if you hear Quran and Hadith, a wise man stops to listen. Only the fool walks away. And only the fool is distracted from Quran and Sunnah. And it's the peril of a person when Quran or the Hadith are mentioned. It's the peril of a believer. He puts himself and herself in a precarious situation to be without attentiveness towards them. For those two things, whether it's the Quran, that which is embodied in Muhammad ﷺ, is life-giving. It's life-giving. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah says, وَمَنْ يَعْشُ عَنْ ذِكْرِ الرَّحْمَنِ نُقَيِّضْ لَهُ شَيْطَانًا فَهُوَ لَهُ قَرِينٌ. And he who ya'ashu, he who is blinded towards, he doesn't put his eyes, he's not looking at it, not giving it attention. On the mention of the Rahman, well, that's just an Aqidah issue. You're just talking about Aqidah 101. You don't care about Allah. That's a type of blindness. Okay? Or whether it's the Quran being recited, or whether it's Muhammad sallallahu, because his nutq is not except it's wahi, his speech is wahi. And as Imam Shafi, rahimahullah, and Bayhaqi, rahimahullah, have mentioned, at least from their perspective and their knowledge, that the Sunnah itself is a type of wahi. It is a type of revelation. So this person who turns away when the Rahman, and it's interesting, Allah mentions in that verse, مَنْ يَعْشُ عَنْ ذِكْرِ Rahman. It didn't say dhikr Allah. It's the issue. When you turn away from Ar-Rahman, Allah's sifat of Rahman, you're really killing yourself. You're a man who's chosen to abort himself. It's as if you ripped a child, an embryo out of its mother's womb. It's Rahim. For the Rahim, the womb, is safety, it's nourishment, it's life. When you rip that child out, it dies. So he who turns away, who blinds himself to Rahman, the mercy of Allah, the one to whom all is given, out of compassion, well, what is your life then? You're like no more than a fetus that's been ripped out and cast aside. That's what you will become. Woe to the person, Yawm al-Qiyamah, who finds himself in hellfire. Because the people who find themselves in hellfire are not finding themselves in hellfire because the fact that they were just stumbling into it. People who find themselves in hellfire are those who chose to be in hellfire. Even Sunni scholars will say, if a person doesn't hear about Islam, they're excused, ma'adhura, they're excused. But those who know, and the onus is on you and myself right now, because we know. We know. And so then the onus of responsibility weighs more heavily on our own shoulders. So therefore, that person is bound. Allah binds shaitans to that person. And we don't want that. None of us want to be that way. We want to be liberated from the path, the khutbah, the steps of shaitan. We want to be liberated from waswasu, from his whisperings. For he is an enemy to us, who took our father Adam from Jannah and our mother Hawa, and Muhammad as the final messenger is the guide from us now to back to our homes. And that is based on knowledge. It's not about neglect, ghafla, ghurur, illusion. So, the Imam al-Suyuti in his Jami' al-Saghir, which is a collection of hadith, it's quite long, where he's gone through, and Imam al-Suyuti, rahimahullah, is one of the great late Shafi scholars of Egypt, if you know about his life. And he was really encyclopedic. And his Jami' al-Saghir, his small compendium, that he lists the hadith alphabetically. So when you look under lam, you get a bunch of hadith under lam. There's a series of hadith where the Prophet said, and there are varying degrees of authenticity. Laysa minni, and then it goes, they are not from me, so-and-so, 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 so-and-so. Or laysa minna, most of them are laysa minna, but a couple of them are laysa minni. They're not of me. So I'll give you a hadith, it's very simple, and it's a da'if hadith. Okay, there's some debate on that. But still Imam Suyuti he gives commentary to it. And he's giving commentary because he still sees in its weakness there's truth in it. Or at least he's assuming to some degree that perhaps it is a prophetic statement. Otherwise he would have noted that. And so in his commentary, which is very brief, but the hadith says, لَيْسَ مِنِّي إِلَّا عَالَمٌ مُمْتَعَالٍ. He who is only from me is one who has knowledge and one who seeks knowledge. That's the person who's from me. If you don't know, or you're not seeking knowledge, then according to this narration, you have no relationship with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's pretty scary. Because there are a lot of Muslims who qualify under laysa minni. They're not of me. Not of me. Now, Imam Suyuti says when it came to alim, that he knows Quran and Sunnah. He qualifies it that way. Or those people who are seeking that knowledge. Of course, Quran and Sunnah is very comprehensive. That's revelation in two forms. The book, and then the embodiment of the intention of Allah. The embodiment of the intention of Allah, i.e. the objective the maqsad of Allah in the revelation, which is found in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then it's through our observation of him. Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. Pray as you see me pray. So you look at him, and by looking at him, you learn what to do. So he embodies the maqsad, the objectives, the maqasid of Allah Azza wa Jal in the revelation. Therefore, Quran and Sunnah are foundational. And there's not one of us in this room, I would not think, who would not want to be except with him. Now, when you go to the Jum'a Bayan on those hadith, there are so many of them. The man who strikes his son in the face is not like him, for example. How many fathers hit their kids in the face? It's as simple as that. They're not like me, for example, the one who tricks and deceives believers in business transactions, whatever. They're not like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there are different ways this is understood. Are you really outside of Islam? Most scholars will not read it so critically that you're outside of Islam. But you're outside of what is a way of being, minimally. The way of character traits and qualities which are beloved to Allah, which are Muhammadan in nature. So, we all want to be with knowledge, and we should want knowledge. And this deen is founded on knowledge. No, therefore there is no God but God. Allah commands us to know. You should know your Tawheed. You should know what Tawheed is, for example. I mean, sometimes when you teach Aqidah, they mention the word Tawheed. Sometimes we teach Aqidah on I wouldn't say trivial, on minor points as if they were so important. And we forget to teach you what Allah really is about at the end of the day. That's one of our problems in contemporary Islam, all these issues. We get very nitpicky in some of our divisive issues on fiqh. We skip over the larger issues of fiqh. I mean, of Aqidah, the nature of Allah. I remember one of my students was saying, it was Hamza, said, he's been coming to these local masajid for years. He says the first time he ever heard the word Tawheed was when I started teaching it. No one didn't mention Tawheed. He said he never heard that word before. And I was like, what? What? Your previous teachers didn't mention that word? Odd. Truly odd. That's the first thing I'm going to make it Muslim. What God is not in relation to oneness. But that's a different discussion. The Prophet said, لَيْسَ يَتَحَسَّرُ أَهْلُ الْجَنَّةِ فِي شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عَلَى سَاعَةٍ مَرَّتْ بِهِمْ لَمْ يَذْكُرُ اللَّهَ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ فِيهَا. He said, the people of Jannah will have no regret. They will have no sadness or feeling a state of loss, except the one thing, and that's the moment. Sa'at. Right? Ala sa'at, a moment. And then the moment is defined. It's just a moment. What's the moment? Marrat bihim, which passed by them. Lam yadhkuru Allah azza wa jalla, in which Allah wasn't mentioned. Now, one way you can understand that is to take that narration of the Messenger and keep yourself busy in the dhikr of Allah. Keep your tongue moist. But as Imam al-Suyuti mentioned also, this is what the hadith he narrated in that same Jami' Sahih. He said, we already discussed this before when we talked about dhikr, and that meant something comprehensive. It meant everything which is contained in the Sharia. That which is of a knowledge based on Quran and Sunnah, whether it's the issues of halal and haram, transactions. That's dhikr. That's what it means in a comprehensive way. How many, somewhere out there's a Peter Saab somewhere who's doing lots of dhikr, and he's doing so much dhikr he doesn't make namaz anymore. You know, I know Allah. I'm an arif in that. SubhanAllah. I know Allah. Right? But I've seen people like that. I've actually met some people like that. I know Allah so well, I don't have to make namaz anymore. It's salah. It's like, yeah, you don't know anything. I mean, as Junaid said, the man arrived, he said, wasala, you know. No, wasala ila Jahannam. He arrived to Jahannam is where he arrived at. The only way you are safe is obedience to Allah. following. But it doesn't have to be something cold and dry. If it's based on love, if you really love someone, you just are with them. That's how you are. You follow, you're obedient, you try to please, you try to make them happy. When they're hurt, you feel pain, etc., etc., etc. That's normal. I mean, if you're a normal person. If you're not a normal person, if you're an egocentric or a sociopath, then you really probably wouldn't care. So, dhikr is very comprehensive. And dhikr has to be where it is operationalizing or bringing into action what you know. But you can't bring something into action that you don't have. You have to know. So, one of the brothers reminded me, and he was mentioning to me, you know, we came to America, and here we're living in America. What am I going to do with my kids? My kids. One son's doing this, one daughter's doing that. I don't know how to handle them. I mean, well, it's simple. Why'd you have kids in the first place if you want to be a proper parent? Parenting isn't just about procreation. It's not popping out kids in a delivery room that makes you a parent. Yeah, biologically it makes you a parent. It doesn't mean it makes you a father. Biologically, yes, you're a father. Biologically, yes, you're a mother. Doesn't mean you're a nurturer. Doesn't mean you're a carer or a caregiver or one who loves or a concerned person. It just means you biologically function. But obviously, and my sheikh said this in Turkey to us, he said, if you leave your window open at night, don't be surprised if the thief comes in. Of course he's going to come in if the window open. Yeah? And there are so many ways. We left the window open, we left the garage open, we left the back door open, we put lights up, we said, welcome, welcome thief. So many ways. And then we wonder what happened to our kids. So one thing is that parents, one thing people will say, well, I'm just too busy. You're too busy. Too busy doing what? Well, we're living in America, we have to survive. Okay, that's true. We all want to survive. What does survival mean? Well, it means I have to work 2 jobs. Why? Because I just bought this $600,000 house I have to pay for. Why? Did you need that? Yeah. Why? Because I came to America to live. So I don't have time to take care of my kids. That's life? That's a real life? Really? That's the American dream becoming a nightmare. Like a college student. When I went to college, I graduated with 0 debt. 0 debt. I took 5 years of my Purdue University degree, my Bachelor of Science, and I worked. That's what took 5 years. 0 debt. Now, average American student, what is it, $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 graduate in debt. If you're a doctor, you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars. My doctor friend in California's got $250,000 in medical school debt. What a great life, America. I came to Liberty to be in debt. Slave of the system. But the reality is, if your kids are there, and that's your priority, if you didn't want kids, why'd you get married? Why'd you have them? And you can't treat God and His messenger like, well, they're sort of weekend events. They're sort of like there. God, Allah, Muhammad. So I have their names on them here. They're in my living room. There's an ayatul kursi in my living room. That's my Islamic thing in the house. My kids know we're Muslim because of ayatul kursi. Or we have a sajada with a picture of the Kaaba. Oh, my kids think now they know they're Muslim. My parents have a sajada. I gave them a gift with stuff like that. They're not Muslim, so it doesn't mean anything to have in your house. It doesn't mean it's going to give your kids faith because you have a bunch of Arabic calligraphy hanging on your walls. It doesn't give them faith. They don't know what it says in the first place. It's just artwork and decorative things, accessorizing the house for a Muslim. The reality is being a mature adult who has a relationship with God, and in your own home you're working to present that in a compassionate, mindful way. Not shove it down my throat, Dad. Shove this Islam down my throat till I vomit. as many of us do with our kids. They want to vomit this religion out. Because that's what we make it. We make it like we're shoving it down their throat, and they want to vomit it out. Hence, when they're not around you, some are taking marijuana, some are doing pornography, some have secret girlfriends, some have secret boyfriends, some are secretly pregnant with abortions. Yeah, because I know that. Because people come to me. Astaghfirullah, like, Hasha, what are we going to do? Well, it starts at home first. Now, obviously, you can't control everything. As your child matures and they become a teenager, they're becoming independent. So you never know how they're going to end up. You just never know. But you can try your best. And if you can't find help at home, then you seek help. But also, one of the problems we have in our communities is this: shame. We all have shame. You know your son's doing something, but you won't talk about it, or even get advice from Nasiya because you feel shame. You're going to shame the family. Shame the family. You know what shame is? Shame is standing naked, Yawm al-Qiyamah, before God with accountable states. That's shame. And you don't correct that, you do that, you correct that now. You don't correct it Yawm al-Qiyamah when we're all naked and in shame. This is a foolish concept you need to get out of your heads. You know, I have a problem with my kids. Imagine being my kid, Shaykh Naeem's son. Imagine the expectation. My dad wears a turban, I have to wear a turban. My dad's like this, I have to like that. Yeah, my kids, I struggle with my religion with them. And I'm not battling my bad dad. My kids love me. But I realize I cannot give them my faith. They cannot take from me my iman. I can't take it from here and transport it to them. It doesn't work that way. I can instruct them. I can guide them. I can get them to ask me questions. I can keep my prayers. I can try to be good. I can try to control my anger. To be a good father. But I can't guarantee my own children. Nuh alayhi salam couldn't guarantee his own son. The one who went to the mountain and drowned. But it doesn't when we don't try. And if you can't find, what I do is I ask my close friends. If I've got a problem with one of my sons, I'll talk to some of my friends. How would you deal with your kids when they're at this age? And I get advice. Because one of the best things you ever have in life is an advisor, a nasih. An advisor. One of the best things you ever have in life. Good counsel. Shura. Taking counsel, taking advice, our religion is built upon this. There is no shame in that. If I got a problem with my car, I go to Omar Mullah and he helps me to figure it out because he has a car dealership place. Yeah. If I got a problem with my computer, I go to Ali Hassan because he's an engineer and knows about computers. If I got a problem with health, I've got so many doctor friends, man, I just go to them. Because I'm not a fool. But when it comes to parenting, no, never. If I don't know that man. I think Amos here was raised with a manual of parenting. I don't have that. So for us, if you can't and you struggle, then no, we can work together. We can work together. It may not always be the perfect working together, but it's better than no working. So one thing we need to be doing, if you struggle, is to try to work together to create places and to create zones and spaces. In those spaces, we try to maintain an environment of nurturing, curiosity, love for Allah and His Messenger. Now, as you all should know about me by now, I don't go around talking about deen. I really want us to be associated with Allah and His Messenger through Islam. I'm not proud to be a Muslim, I'm grateful. I never use the word pride. I'll never use that word. Because it is, I am faqir, he is al-ghani, what could I have done for this? I could do nothing for it. I can't solicit wahi, I can't call it down. I didn't know these things before, none of any of you except it was given to you in some means. This is the fadl of Allah, yuti man yasha. But we can work together. Now this mosque has its history, like any mosque does. One reason, for example, and Brother Ross knows this, and there was an issue, and I'll be honest about it, like, why did I delay opening the Sunday school, which is starting this Sunday? Because I had concerns. I had real concerns. I wasn't so happy the way things were going. And I shouldn't be, if I see it. And my job, I believe, to stand before you, as I've made it, is to be accountable before you, be accountable before him or any of you. Isn't that true? You'd expect that. You have every right to expect that. If anyone in this room, the one who's most accountable is this one right here. Because I'm the guy who stands there every Friday talking to you. And I read Quran, or I read Hadith, or I read something from one of the statements of our scholars, and I'm reading it from Arabic, or I'm looking at it, and I am responsible for that. And I bear the onus of that, and I bear that burden. And I'm not going to pretend I'm not. So I had to have a real thought process on how to make this, change this. I want to create a space where you will want to bring your children. Where I would want my kids to be comfortable there. And that's what we do. And that's what we're working for. Because that's what we need to do. This religion is about instruction. We have to instruct people. We have to be responsible about instructing each other. Answering questions. A sister came to me today asking a big question about marriage. I got a call yesterday from this girl who was, and this is ridiculous. I won't mention the girl's name, I can't do that. But the mom in some city in Texas married a girl and a guy in a restaurant without the parents knowing. What is the irresponsibility of an imam in the United States marrying a guy and a girl in a restaurant someplace in Texas without the parents or anyone knowing? A secret marriage. How could an imam do that? That is a breach of public trust. It's shameful. But that's what people think. Yeah, it's okay, get married. Yeah, get married. Find us some girl and have a nikah. No need to know about it. You know, you have your haq, she has her haq. SubhanAllah. This is foolishness. It's playing with this. It's literally playing with fire. It's playing with things. And now this girl is going through a divorce. And her parents don't know she was married. And she's calling me to get advice. And one of the things I told her, I don't want you, because of the experience you have that imam someplace in Texas, think all imams are that way. But I'm not that way. No way. I'm not that way. So we are responsible for each other. Our religion is so profound, and yet we don't give it regard. Because it's about a living God and a living prophet that we can relate with. And you must, and I must, give this to our children the best we can. And if you cannot do it at home by yourself, because you're too busy, and you don't care about God in the first place, you make your prayers and that's it. You make your fast and that's it. If that's what you want, then may Allah put you in Jannah, because those things are salvific. If you keep your prayers, you are promised paradise. If you have true iman and you keep them, then I won't say anything to you. But if you think that it will be simply satisfactory for your kids, then think again. Because there are too many kids who question things. And if you don't get it, if you don't give it to them, they will get it from someplace. I guarantee you that. They will get it from someplace. And I've even now seen young people raised in good Muslim homes who are atheists or agnostic. Is that what you want for your children? You want an atheist son? You want an agnostic daughter? One of my friends, her daughter told her, I don't believe in Islam anymore. And the mother's very pious. The family's good, but the daughter decided, hey, I don't believe in this thing. I don't care about this stuff. Told her mom right out. Is that what you want? I don't want that for my children, but I know they can make that choice. But I know I can also put impediments in the way to help them not to make that choice. I can offer them an alternative. I can do that. And we can do that in this community. It's a simple thing. Bring them here also on Sundays. It's not the answer. Bring them here on our Sunday school. If you don't have time, then help us to help you. And work with us. If you see something wrong from my end, then you come and tell me. Just tell me. I listen. I listen. I listen. I don't turn away. I'm not Mr. Guy. I'm the imam. I know my nose is in the air. I'm the imam. I know these things stuff all over. You know, what, you are to teach me the deen? Of course you're going to teach me the deen. What do I know? I need to learn from you. Participate. Volunteer. You've got knowledge. Why don't you help share it? Give some time. You expect me to do it all? How much can I carry? No, I need help. The first thing I need is your help to help yourselves. The Sunday school is a simple thing, but it can also give people good things. I guarantee you, when I teach a class, the kids listen. They listen. I know they listen. Either I'm making them listen because I'm talking a certain way or I get their attention, but I know they listen. And I know they learn. And that's what I want for all of you. That's what I want for my own children. And it's a struggle. I struggle, you struggle. Let's all struggle together. So you should be here this Sunday, 11 o'clock, registering your children. And if you see something wrong, you tell me. And I will listen to you. And if it's something that really needs to be corrected, I will work to correct it. I can guarantee you that I will not ignore what you say. I can never do that. Now, the day you see me doing that is the day you take this minbar away, you take this microphone away, and I walk out that door and I say adios, because that's what I should be doing at that moment. Don't you agree? I think that's how it should be. You don't know we have something so wonderful. Break yourself into your heads that God has cherished you. He cherishes you. You are sons and daughters of Adam. And you have a great heritage. See it and take it. But you have to share it through knowledge. This religion is built that way. Break out the mold of just a religion. It's not just a religion. It is life or death. It is life or death. And that's all it is. We're all the way to is a grave. And what goes to the grave is what you believe, what you took with you. And this is what Muhammad taught us. And you believe him or you don't believe him. That's it. That's it. So I want you all to think about that. We'll be here Saturday morning, 11 o'clock. I'll be a little earlier, getting things set up. I'd like to see more of you here as volunteers, observers, counselors, teachers, supporters, in all those various capacities each of you could be in. In all of them, or just one of them. That's what I want to share with you today. Then, there it is. So those of you who are interested tomorrow night, I've never met the gentleman, so I don't know. But those of you who want to come to share the not experience, you know what not means? Not, it means to describe it. It's like wasafa. It's actually an Arabic verb. To describe. It's poetry describing the Prophet ﷺ, reflecting upon it. Which is part of our tradition since the time of the Sahaba, when poems written in praise of Muhammad ﷺ. When you come tomorrow night. Also tonight, by the way, at Maryam Masjid, I think it's Shaykh Naeem and Shaykh, what's his name? Mughira? Huh? What? Mukhtar? Shaykh Mukhtar will be speaking at Maryam Masjid at 7. But anyway, I'm just sharing that because it's an opportunity. So Sunday, we start our Sunday school at 11. Please be here. If you can do it, I would encourage you. Any questions on anything I've said right now? No hands, you're all focused, mashallah. Okay, Jazakallah khair, Allah forgive me anything I said incorrectly. I have mentioned actually about this important. So there's a group in Texas across America who are protesting mosques next week, to the 9th and 10th. On their website, what's it called? Global what?
Global Rally for Against
It's a Global Rally for Humanity. Now they put on their website that there's a mosque on 1960 they may be protesting at, by the way. But because I know that there's a mosque that they've put on their website, they're protesting against Islam and Muslims at a mosque in Corpus Christi next Saturday. On their website, they might be actually outside our doors here next Saturday. I don't know. That was on their website through some of their chats. Just I want you to know this is happening next week. Next week, I actually plan, if it's not happening here, or I follow that, I actually plan to go to Corpus Christi to be a part of that. Because I actually called their imam. He had no idea this was going to happen next week. And I informed him this is what's going on, this is the website. He was very grateful. I called him up. And the Muslims that are there are planning to serve cookies and tea to the protesters. That's their plan. As it should be. They can throw all the dirt they want on us. We'll serve them coffee and tea. That's what we should do. And I just want to remind you of that. We'll let you know next week, inshallah, about that. Okay, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. That's all I have.